Hello students. Yesterday we have discussed conceptual problems related on chapter fluid mechanics, and there on number of topics we have discussed it, like on the topics of motion and some of the on the Bernoulli principle, and some number of topics we have discussed as the conceptual problems. So today let's start to discuss numerical problems based on topics hydrostatic pressure in starting. So from starting we will discuss here, like the chapter started from hydrostatic case in which we are taking liquid at rest, and there a number of cases in which we are just calculating pressure, like normal pressure that you are calculated by force per unit area. So the questions based on that we have already calculated earlier. Next thing that we have just studied there, that is Pascal's law, in which if gravity effect is neglected, then pressure inside the liquid at every point that will be same. It means that whenever high pressure is created, then the pressure transmission takes place from higher pressure to lower pressure region. So that the application based on that is hydraulic brakes and hydraulic lift. We have just taken the case here. So just discuss one or two numericals first upon on the case of Pascal's law. After that you have studied Archimedes principle. So in case of Archimedes principle, no need to again explain it, already you know it. Whenever you are any substance that is immersed in liquid, then it just displays a liquid that is equal to weight of the part that is immersed into the liquid. So due to the displacement of some of the mass of the water, it floats, it sinks, and whatever that is depending on the weight that it is displaced there. So based on Archimedes principle, we will just solve some of the numericals here. So just see first of all numericals that on hydraulic lift and application of Pascal's law. So here questions I will just read manually. We will solve it here. First question is that suppose we have a question that is in a lift, compressed air exerts a force F1 on a small piston having a radius of 5 cm. This pressure is transmitted to second piston of radius 15 cm. Suppose as you have seen the case of hydraulic lift, in which we have suppose two of the pistons there, and this is just connected to any of the larger piston, and suppose just a tube of liquid that is connected to it. So sometimes of suppose that hydraulic lifts we have in this, suppose this is the piston of a smaller cross sectional area. So its radius is given, that is 5 cm. So this is suppose R1, this is given 5 cm, and here it is given that this F1 force that is applied here, and now this F1 force, obviously in starting the pressure at every point that will be same, but here also we are just neglecting gravity effect. Then if here a force that is applied on the piston of this radius, means some of the area this will be applied. So suppose that area is A1 here, so a pressure that will be increased here, that is P1 is equal to F1 upon A1. And now due to this excess pressure, according to Pascal's law, this excess pressure will supply to this part also, until at every point pressure will be constant there. So this is the piston or that has larger area, and its radius that is given 15 cm. So we have to calculate here what is the value of F1 if here this mass that you have that has to lift here, that is 1350 kg, means already F2 is given to you in some of the weight, means this weight is lifted here by this lift, then it means that the force applied here, that is equal to this value, and we have to calculate the value of F1, and also what is the necessary pressure that we need here to accomplish this task. So this is very easy question. This is also question related to hydraulic lift. Means there are two pistons we have. One has larger cross sectional area, second has smaller cross sectional area, and here 150 kg weight that has to lift. Then we have applied some suppose force F1 here, and due to application of this force here a pressure that is created, and that pressure is transmitted here, and due to that this lift is lifted this mass here. So we have to first of all calculate F1. Then you know that with the help of Pascal's law, pressure on both of the sides that should be equal. So if P1, suppose their pressure is P2, so P1 should be equal to P2. Then if here F2 is the force that is applied on this to lift this mass, then the value of P1 that is equal to F1 upon A1, value of P2 that is equal to F2 upon A2. So A you can calculate by this value. This is given, radius is 5 cm, then pi r square, you can use it here. So F1 that will be equal to F2 into A1 upon A2. The value of A1 that is equal to 5 square, I think, pi r square, okay, and the value of A2 here that will be equal to 25 square pi r. So you can solve the here you can put the value of F2 from here, and you can just put the solve these things, and you will get what is the value of F1. And after calculating it easily, you can calculate also what is the necessary pressure that we are needed. Then that pressure is equal to this value P1, that is equal to F1 upon A1. F1 we can calculate from here, and if you will just solve it, then it will provide you the necessary pressure that we are needed here. So calculations you can do it by yourself. Here just I just want to explain you how to solve numericals here. So such types of numericals that will be there by using Pascal's law, and also on hydraulic lift and brake. So you can solve it, that's very easy. So next numerical that we will discuss here, that will be based on Archimedes principle. So as let's see, in the case we have already discussed what is Archimedes principle. So first question that is here, a cube of mass small m and density capital D is suspended from the point P by the spring of stiffness K as shown in figure. So let's see one figure here. Here a spring we have, and that is suspended, means a mass is suspended with it inside the liquid here. So this attachment is given we have, and here the stiffness, it means a string constant that is given here K. So in question these things are given. First of all, this cube of mass is small m and its density is given, that is equal to capital D. Next thing that we have to just solve here, the system is kept inside a beaker filled with liquid of density small d. So here two things we have. First of all, the substance density here capital D, the liquid density here we have small d, and where capital D is greater than small d, this condition is given also. So what is the elongation in this spring? So as we know that whenever the spring will be, or mass will be attached or just suspended in this, then due to this mass some of the water will be displaced or some of the liquid will be displaced, and due to that some of the force will be acting on it, then due to that there will be some elongation. So basically whenever there is no liquid that is there, then that time the suspension in the spring, that is only due to the weight of the mass that is attached to any spring. When if you are taking a spring as the weightless spring and massless, it means that massless spring and that we are taking, then means that whenever the mass will be attached to it, due to that there will be elongation in the spring that will take place, and in opposition of that elongation, means due to properties of elasticity, it will try to regain its original configuration, and due to that a restoring force will be acting on that. So here first of all just solve it by, or just think it where when there is no beaker, there is no water. In that case two forces are acting on this system, only on First, its weight is acting in downward direction and that weight is equal to mc, and a restoring force that will be developed in this system, that will be equal to k into x, where x is elongation produced by this mass. And here when we have just put it inside the liquid, then you know that some of the mass of liquid that will be displaced due to weight of this mass, then definitely a buoyant force or buoyancy will act in upward direction to prevent such types of displacement of the water due to the properties of elasticity. So here two properties of elasticity at two places that are acting. One is due to this spring, second is due to the liquid that we have taken. So it means that an additional upward directional force or restoring force that is acting on this system, that is buoyant force we have. So in equilibrium, obviously this way will be equal to this. So or if there is elongation that is taking place, then you can just solve it easily. Now just we have only three types of forces. This first force is gravitational force or just its weight that is acting in downward direction. Second force, that is restoring force produced in this spring due to its plasticity. Third is due to the displacement of water due to this mass, a buoyant force that will act in upward direction. This is the you know that condition of Me's principle already. Whenever mass is immersed, then it displaces some of the water that is equal to weight, and that a buoyancy that is acting on the system. So in equilibrium, if you will write, then this will be kx plus fb, that will be equal to this mass mg here. And now you can just solve this question easily. So just to solve it, we have to calculate this extension in this spring. So for this x will be mc minus fb divided by k here. So value of mc, and you know that the value of buoyancy, that is also equal to mass of the water or weight of the water that is displaced, small into m. Suppose that here small m mass that is displaced, then that small m mass can be written as volume into density of this water liquid. So volume into density and into there the value c here. So just write it volume, and this volume is due to the volume of this that water has been or liquid has been displaced here. So v d z we can write it here upon this k. And again if you will solve it, then m into z minus, in place of v, this is volume, we can write mass per unit density here obviously. So this is the m is the mass of this cube, and also density of the cube, that is equal to capital D. So this is dz divided by k we have. Next thing here, that is x is equal to just you can take m as the common, then we will get, or z you can take also common. So m into z, this will be common here. Finally we will get 1 minus d upon capital D upon this k. So this is the elongation in the spring that is produced due to such types of system that is given to us. So I think now in this system there is no problem. So while sometimes we are just providing numericals, that is easy, but still sometimes of derivations and questions that are little tricky. So there is no need to be worried. First of all, just resolve it into some of the parts. Like here we had two things, one is spring, second is liquid. So first of all, only put your concern upon the solid portion, like a mass that is attached to spring, then which types of forces can be act there. Just write first of all that forces. So first force is its weight, second is its restoring force that is developed due to elasticity of spring. After that, when we have just put it into water, then it means that we are immersing that into water. Then you know already whenever any substance that is immersed in water, that displaces some of the mass of the liquid there, or actually by just habit I'm telling you water, but still here any liquid can be there. So there is displacement of some of the weight of the liquid, then obviously due to that liquid will try to regain its configuration. Then to regain its configuration, it again apply an upward directional force that will be obviously in opposite direction to its weight. So that is known as buoyancy or buoyant force. So here three types of forces we have. So I think now that is clear how to just solve such types of questions. So the next numerical that we will discuss here, that is a wooden ball of density capital D is immersed in water of density small d. So first of all, two things has been given. We have a wooden ball and its density is small. Suppose I'm just writing this ball. The density of ball it is given capital D and density of liquid it is given small d. To a depth small h below the surface of water. So draw the figure for this. Suppose this is the water that we have taken. There is a wooden block and suppose in this water we have just immerse it up to depth small h. Clear? And after holding it we just release it. So then released. So we have to find out up to which height out of water it will jump. So here question is very simple. It is given that a wooden ball of density capital D is immersed in water of density small d and up to the depth small h in it, and after that we released it. So when you will release it, then obviously the upthrust that is acting on it in upward direction, that will lift it in a upward direction, and it is given already that the ball is going to rise up, going to jump out of water. So it means that the upthrust that is acting on this body, that will be greater than the weight of this body, otherwise it cannot move in upward direction after releasing it. So when it is moving in upward direction, then first of all it will just come out this height h. After that, outside this surface of water we have to find out up to which height it is just going here. So this height capital H we have to find out. First of all, I think question is clear. Then now let's start to solve it. So first to solve it, first suppose that capital V is the volume of the ball. Then we can find out what is the effective upthrust on this ball. So when we just hold this ball up to depth as small as, two forces first of all acting on this. The mass of body, weight of the body acting in downward direction, and obviously due to its volume V, it will displace the same volume of water, means the weight of water that will be displaced by this, and due to that a buoyant force that will act in upward direction, or upthrust that will act in upward direction. So the upthrust that is acting in upward direction here, suppose this is Fv, and finally if it is jumping outside the water, it means that net effective upthrust is acting in upward direction. So suppose net force that is acting on this ball, that is, or wooden, I think wooden ball we have taken, on wooden ball, that is capital F, then we can write here this upthrust that is greater than this mg. So let's just solve it first. What is the net force that is acting in outward direction, and due to that ball started to move in upward direction and outside this water. So to calculate it, this is Fv upthrust, and you know that this upthrust is mass of the liquid displaced into Z, and this is mass of the solid wooden ball. Then mass of the liquid displaced, you can write it volume into density, and where volume of this substance, obviously the same volume will be displaced from here. So we have just taken V is the volume of this wooden ball, then obviously here we can write V into, for mass of the liquid we have to multiply density of the liquid, that is V into Z, minus Here in place of capital M, this is mass of the wooden block. You can write here just volume. Again, volume is V. Density is capital D here for the substance, and here is Z. So you can just take VZ outside. You will get D minus capital D here. Okay. Now we have calculated this upward force that is acting on this ball, and due to that this ball started to move in upward direction. So with which acceleration it is moving in upward direction, we can easily calculate it. So the net acceleration that is produced on it, that is given by force upon just mass of the ball. So force, we have just calculated the force acting on it in up direction, that is Vz small d minus capital D, and mass of the substance, again you can write it by volume into density of substance, and with the help of this you can just find out easily. This will be equal to d by capital D minus 1. And now we have calculated acceleration, then we can calculate with which velocity it is reaching to the surface of the water. So as we released it from this depth, means initial velocity will be here 0. Then suppose V is the final velocity, or V is the velocity at this height small h. Then what is the velocity? How to calculate it? So this is acceleration we have calculated. Then you can take the help of equation of motion, and with the help of that you know already this here S is equal to ut plus half at square, or you don't have to actually take here, t is not given. You can take this one, u square minus u square is equal to 2as. So here as u is equal to 0, then v square will be equal to 2a, s is here h, so v is equal to under root 2a h. And now outside the water surface, obviously the force that will act here, that will be due to gravity. It will go up to some height h, not due to buoyant force here. So again, if due to gravity it will be there, it means that the now acceleration that is working there, that is a small z, and up to height as it is going. So and initial velocity, suppose that any body that is moving from here to here, it means that the initial velocity is u, and obviously it after some time at height h, obviously suppose this is maximum height, because we are talking about up to which height is it going. Then at this height velocity will be 0 finally. Then if at this point suppose the velocity is v2, that is 0, here initial velocity is v1, that will be also equal to this velocity v. This is the velocity at this point of the ball on the water surface, and this above this it is started, then obviously initial velocity will be equal to this point v here. So now you can again apply this formula here. Here final velocity is 0, initial is v, then v square is equal to 2, and obviously here minus, and here z will be also minus in upward direction. So minus z you can just, and here s is equal to h height. Then this v is given, this is the value 2ah. Now here we can calculate what is the value of h. We have to calculate this value. Then this will be 2 will be cancelled out. We will get a upon z into h. And the value of a we have just calculated, just put it value, and this is equal to z d by capital D minus 1 upon z into h. So this will be cancelled out, and finally we will get, we will get the height up to which it will jump, that is equal to d by d minus 1 into h. So this is our final answer for this question. So I think now there is no problem in this question. So if now this is clear, then let's solve again a question that is related to this question. Now you, after that you will be more clear about such types of numericals. So the next question is that a stone of density 2.5 into 10 power 3 kg per meter cube. So density of a stone, this is given 2.5 into 10 to the power 3 kg per meter cube. It is given. Completely immersed in sea water is allowed to sink from rest. Question is given, a stone of density this completely immersed in sea water is allowed to sink from rest. So there obviously from rest it is initial velocity is 0, that is given here. Now we have to calculate the depth to which stone would sink in 2 seconds. So here in 2 seconds we have to calculate up to which depth it is just sink in this time. Here we have to neglect the effect of viscosity and relative density of sea water, that is given. Relative density of sea water is given 1.025. So this is given to us, and now we have to find out in 2 seconds up to which depth it will sink. So this question is also same as it is we have taken before. So in this question, first of all, let's find out what is density of sea water. So you know that relative density is given by density of substance upon density of water. So when you multiply density of water in relative density, then you will find out density of sea water. So density of sea water, this will be equal to relative density into density of water, that is equal to 10 power 3 kg per meter cube. Now we have all these data. We have to use now and always just draw a figure here for your conclusions. So here suppose starting stone starts to just sink from here, and we have to just find out after 2 seconds up to which depth it has been sinking. So suppose up to height h, up to depth h, in 2 seconds it has been sink, and obviously the force that is acting on it again, that is in downward directional. Its force, it means if mass of this stone is capital M, then its weight is acting in downward direction. And second force that is acting, because here whenever some body is immersed in it, according to Archimedes principle, it will displace some of the water, that will be equal to the water displaced from here, obviously weight of water that will be displaced. So same volume of water equal to substance that will be displaced from here. So then due to that an upward thrust that is acting on it, so that upward thrust will act, that is also known as buoyant force here. So here question is that it is given, if the body is going to be sink, it means that the net force that is acting in downward direction. So if force is acting in downward direction, it means that its weight is greater than this. So first of all, effective force you can calculate again. So effective force will be here, this weight minus this buoyant force. And now again do the same thing. This is mg. Suppose mass of the buoyant force is equal to weight of water displaced or weight of liquid displaced. So suppose m is the mass of the liquid that is displaced. If you multiply in it, you will be find out it. And again we don't know what is the value of m. And the same volume, volume of this substance and volume of liquid displaced, that is same. So you can find out easily what is the mass, that will be volume into density. So here if V is the volume and density of substance, density of stone is given here. So this density is equal to 2.5 into 10 power 3 minus this mass, you can find out again, this is volume into density of sea water. So density of sea water is 0.5 into 10 power 3 into Z we have. Okay. So this is the net downward force that we have calculated. Now we can find out again acceleration that is produced in this system. So acceleration that is given by F upon mass of the stone here. So F we have calculated just, and you can just divide it whole terms by its mass, and mass is volume into density, 2.5 into 10 power 3. And now you can solve it. V will be cancelled out from here, and you can solve these values easily, and you can find out what is its acceleration that is produced in such types of system. So, and after calculating acceleration, we can just use formula that the distance travelled in t second, that is equal to S is equal to ut plus half at square, and as it is given u is equal to 0, from raised it is started to sink, then we can easily write it half at square. Now you have the value of a from here, you have the value of t that is given in question, you can find out what will be distance, and just find out by itself that is nearly equal to 11.6 meters. So this is our answer here after this. So friends, I think what we have discussed here, that is now clear. All the numerical problems based on these principles that are given, all the questions are different here. You have to practice a lot on this. So today's the numerical problems that we have discussed, I think that is clear. Then just end the class here. Rest of the numerical problems we will discuss in next class. So thank you guys.